I love how the young people are stepping up, you know, in this movement and are the ones behind the cameras. This is what it's supposed to be. So this is wonderful. My name is Latoya Fernandez. I'm an activist here in San Jose, California, but I represent Santa Clara County. I represent the state of California. And I've been in the education game for about 13 years now. I started as a teacher and then I became an administrator. And I now run a nonprofit called Youth Hype, where I do youth empowerment workshops all around the country. And actually, I'm supposed to be in Ghana right now doing these workshops as well. So I'm a huge champion for the young people, and I believe in creating platforms for young people to take a stand against injustice and to really speak up and be the ones that are making decisions around how our future is shaped. So that's a little bit about me. I'm also an MC. I'm a hip hop artist. People out here know me as P.Y.T, Toya P.Y.T Fernandez. So, you know, if you ever catch me getting down on the mic, you'll see me spitting some conscious bars. And my song Black Lives Matter, that's out right now, definitely represents where we're at as a community and even having to say that our lives matter. So, yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. We're in this revolution right now. And for a lot of us, we've been in this revolution. We've been saying these things. We've been out there organizing, getting in positions of power, trying to reform the system from the inside. So it's been like a breath of fresh air to have this wave of young people just coming out here and saying, look, we are in this to win it this time. We're going to stick it out. We've seen what's been done before us. We've taken notes on that. And we're going to take this to the next level and make sure that we live in a place where everyone feels like they're safe and they're treated with equity. And so I think we can all learn something from this generation and their leadership and the push for unity for everyone. So, you know, really just thinking about that major effort that's been pushed forward, the defunding the police. And I want to just break that down a little bit, because even myself as a Black woman in the Black community, people are confused about that. Defunding the police does not mean eradicating the police. And I think that's the thing where it gets confusing for people. They think it means destroying the police, getting rid of it, having zero security on the streets, having zero safety. That's not what it means. Defunding just means looking at the budget that the police are using and thinking about where are places we can make certain cuts. For example, we're spending $20 million in overtime. We're having officers work overtime. So when there's a situation, 5 to 7 officers are showing up when maybe only 2 or 3 needed to show up. So there's that surplus in overtime. We could recover those funds back as a city. When we say defund, we're saying take that $20 million extra that you're spending in overtime and give that to community centers, youth programs, so that we can create things that will make it so that youth are not interacting with the police in a negative light. Maybe police are coming into community centers and running healing circles and having dialogue with the young people. So we're not saying get rid of the police system. We're not saying get rid of it. We're saying let's take a look at it and see where we can make changes for the better. So I just want to clarify that. Secondly, when we're looking at the budget and we're looking at the money that's spent on police and that's spent on fire, we have to also think about what money is being spent on community programming and resources and youth and education. And we have to take a really close look at that, because if we're spending, for example, in San Jose, 44% of the city budget goes to police, and then 8% goes to parks and recs. So if we're saying we're spending all this money on the police, but a little bit of money on community resources and on youth, then we're saying that we're valuing over policing communities, over giving communities what they need to be successful and thrive. And the thing with that is that if we actually invest in our communities, we invest in youth programming and providing families resources, that's going to stimulate our economy here. And we can really be the powerhouse that everyone thinks we are and says we are. It doesn't just have to be about being the tech powerhouse, but we could actually be a real economic powerhouse if we invest money into the people that live here, our residents. So we're not saying get rid of police completely. We're saying let's take a look at how we're spending some of our money and think about where we can reinvest those funds. Those funds aren't going to disappear into thin air and we no longer have access to them. We just want to move them into the areas where they're needed the most. And right now, we don't need more money for police, right? We need more money in education. We need more money to provide mental health resources. These are important because we think about the onset of COVID-19 and how schools were shut down and communities of color were hit really hard. Every single child is going to need mental health support this up and coming school year. Every school is going to need programs that are going to help the youth decompress what they've been through. Kids who got opportunities, taken away from them that we all grew up having, graduating, having end of year celebrations. Some of our kids who have been dealing with homelessness. So when we're saying defund, we're saying, hey, let's look at where we're at right now as a community, as a city, as a county. And let's think about where we can reinvest money into those that need it, especially in the face of a global pandemic. So I'm really glad to clear those things up. And I really want to make sure that we're pushing ourselves to do the necessary research to understand what this language is and what this means, and to get involved ourselves. Look at your city budget, look at the state budget, look at the county budget, and think about how are we spending money, where can we reinvest money, and what is in the best interest for the overall community and the people that live here.